Morning. So the other day I was doing a little bit of woodworking in my garage using my bandsaw, and all of a sudden the unit started smoking a little bit. So I stopped, gave it a break for about a half an hour, and I tried it up again. And same problem, it started smoking right away. I chose to just keep going for a few more seconds. After that I heard a loud bang in the motor of my bandsaw, followed by a large flash of light, and then some smoke started coming out of it again, and the motor stopped completely. At that point, I started doing a little research on the internet to see if it was something that I could fix, or if I had to go and possibly purchase a new bandsaw. It does seem that it's something that I can fix. It's a pretty easy fix as well, and it seems like the capacitor is the problem. So today, I'm going to show you how to replace the capacitor on a small Delta bandsaw. So here's what my bandsaw looks like. It's just a small benchtop model. It's got a 1/5 horsepower Delta motor on it. And just looking at it right now, you can see this little cap back here, this little cover. That's what covers up the capacitor. So we got a screw right here and a screw on the back side as well. We're going to take that cover off, and that'll expose the capacitor. Okay, so I took those two screws off. I got the cover off now, and this black object hanging here is the capacitor. So I just want to start by taking these caps off the wires, and you can just see that it just easily pulls apart at that point. So here's a close-up of what the capacitor looks like. It's got some numbers on there. First of all, you got that 16 UF. It stands for 16 microfarad, and that's the rating of the capacitor. And below that, we have the 250 VAC. That's what the maximum voltage that this unit can carry. Looking at this from the outside, looks pretty normal. Looking at it from the top, however, there's a little chip missing right in the middle here. That's where this capacitor failed. That's where that smoke was coming out of. So this unit definitely needs to be replaced right now. I did have a little bit of a problem when I went on the internet trying to find this item. I was able to find one. It ended up being almost $40 though, plus shipping. The cost of my bandsaw was about double that, so I was a little hesitant to put that much money into a bandsaw that I wasn't really crazy about to begin with. So with a little more research, I found out that the capacitance needs to stay about the same. So I found a 15 microfarad, which is very close to a 16. But the 250 volt, I wasn't able to find that for the price that I like, so I got a 450 volt. And that really doesn't matter, I guess. That's just the maximum voltage that it can carry. So as long as the capacitance is the same, the voltage can actually go up a little bit. Downside is that the capacitor gets a little bit larger. So here's the new version that I got. This one ends up being a 15 microfarad. So again, like I said, very close. And this one holds up to 450 volts. And since I'm just hooking it up to 110 volt AC outlet on my wall, I'm never going to approach that. So this one should work just fine, but it is a little bit bigger. And hold these side by side here, as you can see. One other notable difference here is that the connections are a little bit different. On the first unit, I just had a couple of bare wires hanging here. And we just use those little connectors to put those together. On this new model here though, it has these metal outlet type prongs on it. So we're going to need a different type of adapter to make this work. Alright, so here are the connectors that we're going to use to make this new unit work. This one came with a male and female set of connectors here. This one looking head on here, this would be the female connector. Looking at this one's the male connector. So for our use, we're going to only want to use the female connectors today. And essentially these are going to fit right on top of here, and they'll snap into place. And then this opening in the back, that round end, that's going to end up just connecting to these wires here, and we'll crimp those on there. The nice thing about these are that they're fully insulated. So since I'm not going to be able to put that cover back over this capacitor, it's a good safety option right there. And then here you can see we have two wires, but we have four prongs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw two extra connectors on there. They're fully insulated, so again, that'll keep us protected. One last thing, when you pick up these connectors, I made the mistake of going to the store without looking at what gauge of wire I had. So if you just look actually on the wires here, it's printed very small. This one says 18 AWG. That's the gauge of the wire. And you can see on the package here, it says 22 to 16 AWG. So you just want to make sure that you're getting the right size before you run to the store there. Well, so here's the finished product as far as wiring it up. Just took a couple of minutes, got those connectors put over the wires, crimped them on there, just attached them to the electrodes on here. Since there's 4 of them on there, you gotta make sure you're putting one on each side versus putting both on the same side. Not sure exactly what that would do, but it's probably not a good idea to find out. You can just see I put those 2 extra connectors on top. That's just to keep those electrodes covered, just for safety purposes. Well, the next thing to do is to plug this in and find out if it works. Alright, so the moment of truth here. Before when I was flipping the switch, nothing would come on at all because that capacitor is bad. We just replaced it with the new unit. Got it all wired up right now. And we're almost finished with it, so let's give it a test here. Well, so it looks like it's working pretty well. Started up just like it did before. Didn't look like it had any difficulty at all. So the last thing that we're going to need to do here is just get this capacitor attached to the unit so it's not dangling there. I know the most glamorous option is probably to find a new cover or try to make something for that, but I think in this instance I don't plan on keeping this bandsaw for much longer, so I'm probably just going to get it into place. Take it down with some electrical tape. Just make sure that those connections aren't exposed to a lot of sawdust either, so I'll make sure to cover those up well. And it should work again for a little bit and allow me to finish the project I was working on. Thanks for watching.